What? Ah! 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 Live camera! Just kidding. Hey, everybody. Peace in the Middle East. Brian is coming right over. So this is inside of our, I keep looking down. The camera's up here because I'm looking at comments.
Their faces are up there, Ashley.
Keep the eyes above the neck.
Yep.
So this is inside of our Facebook group now. So we may need to wait like a few minutes for people to hop on. And even if nobody pops on, we're trying this as a new thing. Because apparently, according to Facebook algorithms, we can do a whole lot more stuff in a group and be able to connect with you guys better. We can put files in the file section.
Well, and then you can search in the group for particular topics. So, like, for example, you want to you remember this, and you're like, ooh, I really want to remember that one thing that Brian talked about and Ashley talked about in that one, and it was in business owner. You can search for that. It makes it a lot easier for you. The Facebook, our group was really, the page that we had was really great, but we think this group's going to be a lot better for people. Even though our numbers on the lives are going to be smaller, I think at first, until we get like 10,000 people in here, which is our goal. So add your people to this because it's going to be a lot of good stuff.
You have to be a member first to then add them, right? Right. Okay, I'm still learning.
Oh, yeah, we got 6 people on. That's actually a lot better.
Still learning this whole thing.
We are. We have no idea what we're doing.
And if you have certain settings, like there was a girl, Andrea, that wanted me to add her, and I couldn't for some reason. So if you have certain settings, check your settings. And if I can't add you, all you have to do is request. Okay.
Let's jump into this because we actually got more people than I thought we were going to get today with this thing. So it's actually really great. Okay. So Ashley asked yesterday, what do people want to know? What do people want to learn about? And so it's actually something that we put on our
in our product.
I made an online training program a while ago. I haven't really promoted it to people. It's really great.
We haven't unleashed it yet.
We haven't unleashed it. It's available for purchase if anybody wants it. I can give somebody a discount code so if they're interested. It goes through mindset. It goes through proper actions and daily methods of operation. We do a really great goal setting workshop, and then we teach people some ways of letting go with issues and things like that are frustrating them. So, but without that being said, what we are actually going to talk about today is a huge segment of that.
We pulled it from that course, yeah.
So it's business owner mindset versus an employee mindset. So I can start this and you can chime in if you want, or you can start it and I can chime in.
Let me just prep them.
Okay.
If you're driving, you're not going to be able to take notes. You're going to want to watch the replay again,
right?
Because this is like deep stuff, but it's awesome. And some of you guys might already know this stuff. You might be ahead of the curve,
but some people on your team might not be.
Yeah. Well, let's be honest. Most people in direct sales, network marketing, home-based business do not have a business owner's mindset. They think, "Oh, I'm just going to try this out for a year, and if nothing comes of it, I'll go back to my regular job."
Right.
Or they have no daily method of operation like a true business owner would. Right. Do you really think, someone that owns
the
restaurant or the local grocery store or gas station is not going to have schedules that they're going to do things?
Right. And if they don't, how long is their business going to last? Really?
Yeah, and you can't just wing. And I get a lot of people do. A lot of these companies, especially our company, because you're passionate about the product and you're not really trying to be a business owner. But I'm telling you, the faster that you can have a business owner's mindset around it, you will actually be able to help more people. So yes, you'll make more money, which is amazing, right? But you'll actually be able to help more people because you're more organized. So do it for them, even if you can't do it for yourself.
Right. Okay. And Bruce, to answer your question, no, you cannot share it. It's within the group. But what you can do is I think you can tag your people while it's live, get them on. You can actually go to invite. If you're on your mobile phone, you can actually invite people. Actually, and it's on desktop as well. Invite friends to watch it. So particular people that you think need to hear this, it's great. We knew that was going to happen when we went into the group, that people can't share, but we were okay with that because we kind of wanted to make an exclusive thing for people who are genuinely interested and very serious. Because instead of just plashing it out there for everybody, we wanted to really hone in on people
We'll probably throw it on our business page.
Right, and we are in about probably tomorrow. We'll throw it up on our business page, and hopefully it'll have captions. I'm not sure, but
this is kind of this way. It's secret and special, and only the very serious people get to get their questions answered.
So definitely add your people to the group. If you think this is good for them, ask them. Don't be like throw 1,000 people in. That would be great, but But
unless you just know that they trust what you have to say.
Right. Anybody in your organization, definitely get them in here. So
if it worked, it worked. I don't know.
Oh, cool. No, then it's great. If it works, if it's shared, then it's shared. Then yeah, everybody share it then. I didn't know you could share it. But whatever. So let's jump into this right now. We've been going for 5 minutes, and I want to get into the good stuff. So I actually don't have enough time to go through every single thing that I put in the training for Belief, Action, and Letting Go. But I picked out some of the best ones, and then what we're going to do is as we're doing this, think of your questions. Write your questions. It doesn't have to be about the topic. That'd be great if they could, but don't worry about that. If it's not a part of the topic of business owner mindset, ask away at any moment. Post it in the chat. Be like, wait a minute, go back and explain that. Could you go deeper into that? What about this? What about that? This is the forum to get any of your questions on any spectrum answered, and I'm really encouraging people to do so. We have people who message us privately questions. That's fine as well if you don't feel comfortable asking the deep personal questions, whatever. And then we'll still answer them. We'll say your name, we'll expose you to the world, and then we'll answer the question. No, I'm kidding, we won't do that. So let's start right off the bat with the number one thing that we talk about with business owners' mindset and psychology is having a proactive mindset. So what that kind of means is you have proactive versus reactive, okay? Mm-hmm. So to dive a little deeper into that, when you are an employee, you have a very reactive mindset. And in turn with that, you have a very time-oriented mindset. You ask yourself time-oriented questions. When do I clock in? When do I clock out? What does my schedule look like? When do I get paid? When. That's how employees think. They think in terms of time. Now, proper business owners, they think in terms of action. They ask themselves action-oriented questions. So let me give you some examples with this. A good example for people who are in network marketing is how many people do I need to prospect this week to hit my goal of my next rank or whatever. See how that's different than what do I need to do to get so I can get to this by this point. I want to hit this rank by this date. That's where a lot of people set their goals in their mind on, I want to get to this rank or this amount of money by this time, which is good to have those, but it's better to have action-oriented questions and action-oriented goals. What should I be doing?
How many people should I talk to? How many people should I follow up with? Rather than, I'm just going to get this goal by this day, because it's very depressing when you don't get it.
Or when you get close, or you think you're getting close, and you don't feel like you're going to make it, you give up. I have seen this time and time again with people who actually is adding people that I've requested to jump in the group as we speak. People who set these time-oriented goals for rank or income, and they don't, they get 3 months away, and then all of a sudden they're like, okay, I'm going to be this by the end of the year, and then they're 3 months away, and they're like, well, I'm not even halfway there, so I quit, or I'm done, or they get depressed, or they start beating themselves up. Whereas if you set yourself action-oriented type goals, and you start thinking in action-oriented type questions that are more proactive versus just reactive or time-oriented, you have every day to accomplish your goal. So good goal setting with in terms of that would be, I need to meet 5 people a day, prospect 5 new people a day to my list, 5 days a week for the next 5 weeks. Do you do that? See, the cool thing about action-oriented goals and action-oriented questions that you ask yourself is they get the end result. And a lot of times, they get the end result faster than the time-oriented questions and the time-oriented goals that you set for yourself. So they're much more powerful. And if you have a day where you fail, or have a day where you I didn't prospect my 5 people, I didn't prospect anybody, you're not going to be like, oh, I quit, I give up, because then tomorrow you wake up and you're like, wait, I can do my 5 today. But don't have rollover, if that makes sense. So rollover would be, I only got 2 today, so now I got to get 8 today. I got 2 yesterday, I need to get 8 today so I can get my 5 on average. Don't do that. Because that's defeating the purpose of action. Mm-hmm. So that's proactive mindset. Once again, I go into this a lot deeper in the Belief, Action, and Letting Go, but I'm giving you guys some really good ideas about all this. So the second one that I want to talk about is get grateful. So now this isn't necessarily what you're thinking. I can guarantee you're thinking, get grateful. Yeah, I'm grateful that I have this. I'm grateful that I have
We've heard so many of the self-help world. It's like, just focus on everything you're grateful for, which is important.
It's good to do, but a business owner doesn't think that way predominantly.
Well, we're talking about when it's associated with your business, there's a little bit more to it.
There's a lot more to it. And let me ask you a question. Which one's more important? Your family and your team's your family and your own happiness, or your team's happiness? Which one's more important? You can put it in the comments. Which one's more? Your family and yourself, your own happiness, or is what your team wants, is that more important? Which one is more important? You can put it in the comments if you want. Pretty obvious answer to that one. It's your family and your own happiness as far as versus over what you think your team wants or what your team tells you they want. Like, I want you to train, I want you to do this, I want you to do that. So what I mean by get grateful is get grateful to yourself. I see so many business owner people that have this employee mindset of, I have to do this for this person, do this for this person, do this for this person, this for this person, because they're asking me. Ashley and I had this problem when we first got started. We weren't grateful or gracious to our own time and ourselves. We were trying to do everything for every other person. We weren't grateful for what we were and for our own time. It wasn't until we had Zoe where we were like, we can't do it anymore. We can't go do everything for everyone. Zoe became more important. And I see a lot of people that do network marketing where they jump into this, and a lot of times this business sometimes overshadows so many other things in life that are more important. So a proper business owner mindset to have when it comes to getting grateful is, and this sounds very selfish, and that's why it's very counterintuitive, but there's a lot of psychological studies that go into this type of thing. As far as being grateful to your own time and what you can bring to the table is really important. And here's something to kind of think about. What Ashley and I noticed when we got started, and maybe some of you guys have noticed this as well. When you stop doing everything for everyone, what tends to happen for them? What do you think? How do you think that they react to that? Now, granted, some people might quit and be like, whatever, forget you, you're not helpful, you're the worst sponsor, you're the worst whatever, and they don't like. But what I've also noticed with us in particular, and across every other organization I've ever looked at, is the strong will become stronger, the weak will become stronger, and then the pathetic will quit. Is they'll just walk away and they'll be like, no, they didn't help me, and they'll come up with every excuse in the book why you weren't good enough, or their sponsor wasn't good enough, or something wasn't good enough, and they blame somebody else or something else. But the people who have a genuine passion but aren't strong enough, they get stronger, and the strong become stronger because you didn't help them. And a really cool study, think about this. So there was a study that was done, I can't remember how many years ago it was, but what they did is they created this dome where they built trees. They actually tried to grow trees, and they wanted to see what would happen in this perfect environment where there was no wind, there was no animals, there was no damage, there was no threat of fire. These trees grew up in this absolutely perfect environment where there was no damage that could have ever possibly been done to them. Well, the barks themselves, whenever first of all, the trees didn't grow that tall. Normally, you have these big, huge trees that can grow, pine trees that can grow tall, right? These didn't grow at all. They barely grew because they had no need to. They had no need to grow and become stronger and outgrow the surroundings and grow above them. And also that they were incredibly weak. The barks were incredibly weak. The reason why is because they were never tested. The winds never hit them and made the barks grow stronger. So the wind hit it and it had to resist, and it had to become stronger, so it did become stronger. So it happens in nature, and it happens in our minds too.
Give me goosebumps on that one, Bri, because we've been through that. Like,
right.
You almost made me want to tear up because we were forced to become stronger with a lot of different issues in our business.
Right.
In the beginning, it was the first thing that hurt us the most was somebody leaving our company and going to another one, right? That was the first thing. And then, of course, people telling you no, it's like your heart's broken at first. And now, as a business owner, you're just like, oh, you don't want this bag of chips? Okay, good. Even though we know what we have to offer is way more important than a bag of chips. And
all that and a bag of chips.
All that, and so lots of different things happen. I think we talk about this in another training about like prepping you for like, your team now. Oh yeah. Why you want to quit.
Why you want to quit, yeah.
So we talked about that in another video that you can find on our business page about wanting to quit your business, of the different things that can happen to you. But listen, network marketing and direct sales, home-based business is the only industry where people just quit like this because they didn't invest enough. Like, even if you start a food truck it's like $30,000 or something, a minimum.
We actually looked into that a while
Yeah.
ago. Long time
I don't know why I wanted to make it raw juices and stuff. But even a food truck is an insane amount of investment. And so those people are not going to quit. They're going to keep pushing on, even if someone makes fun of them or tells them no, or, you know.
Right.
So if you could treat this, one of the top distributors in our company once said that even though we're actually a high ticket company compared to a lot of other companies out there, he actually said it doesn't cost enough to get into our business because then
it's easy to get out.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Okay, cool.
While we're taking a quick little break, go ahead and add more people to the group, or tell them to request,
or invite them in, or something like that, or share if you can.
While we're live,
but the other thing is, that's actually might be the next training that I talk about, is the big commitment, making a big commitment to your business and fully jumping, and that might be the next. But anyways, if you guys are thinking of any questions, put them in there. Don't be afraid to either message Ashley, message me, or put them in the comments to get any questions.
I'm keeping an eye on the comments.
Yeah, anything over the course of the last week that maybe hits you that you're like, man, I really wish I could have helped with X, Y, and Z thing. Please put it in the comments. Okay, so that was Get Grateful. So we have proactive mindset versus reactive mindset. Thinking in terms of action-oriented goals versus time-oriented goals. Asking yourself better action-oriented questions. And then we have Get Grateful. Be grateful to your family, to the people around you that are most important in your life, versus putting the happiness of your team above you.
Well, and also the Get Grateful part gets you over your fears a lot more. When I was like, I got to do this for Zoe, I got to do this for something else, then I kind of got over my fears of follow-up and just asking for the, like, you ready to do this? Like, I used to be so scared to say that.
Right. Okay, then the next one is uncertainty equals learning. So what that means is you're never 100% ready for every circumstance. And us having our first baby was a great example. Anybody who's, I love hearing it from people like that are married couples. We meet them all the time, young married couples who we ask them, like, so when are you guys thinking about having kids, or things like that? You bring kids come up in the conversation, and they go, oh, as soon as we have this, and then we have the house, and we want to have this amount of say, and then they have this laundry list of things in their head, right, that they want to have done before they can have kids. And what's hilarious about that is, and this is so true, you're never 100% ready all the time for everything. And so much, that's the beautiful part about home-based businesses, is that so much learning takes place on the job. And there's a lot of countries, I think Australia does this, there's a lot. If that's the case, okay, I guess we're back. I literally hardwired my computer to the internet. I have a cable going in, so hopefully we don't lose you guys.
Otherwise, we're going to be getting a new internet service. We're
going to be getting an internet service, because I have tried everything to avoid our internet dying out on you. So hopefully we didn't lose you there, because it said we lost you. But anyways, going back to the uncertainty equals learning, there's so much on-the-job type training that's the best way to learn, is actually getting out there and learning what to do and how to do things. Actually on the job. So with that being said, having that mindset, and here's a really great quote. There's two great quotes I want to tell you guys. The first one is, the amount of happiness that you get out of life is directly associated to the amount of uncertainty you're willing to deal with. Because the more uncertainty that's going to come into your life, and the more that you're trying to deal with and struggle with, then ultimately, the more that you can handle, the more learning and the more growth that can take place. All right, and I'll tell you the second quote here in a little bit. Don't let me forget to give you the second quote. So you asked him. She wants me to say something.
No, like psychological safety.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, I was just. If this is all making sense, put a 1 in the comments. Because this is a deep topic. I mean, this is a lot, and we don't have to cover all of this. Like, we want to make sure that everybody on here right now is got all of this stuff. Now, if you jumped on late, obviously, if you missed some of it, just go back and watch the replay. But does it all make sense? Is it all clicking? Is there any questions so far?
Yeah, do we have any questions so far? Because I want to be able to jump into these really deep with anybody. And granted, I know we only have 8 versus like the 30 some odd that we've been having.
I'm going to sit down for 1 sec.
Ashley needs to sit down. The baby is taking all the energy. So, and then you'll hear her chime in from the corner. Okay, thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Sonia. So that's what uncertainty equals learning. The next one is probably the most unpopular one that I teach. People tend not to like this one. It's called repetition is the mother of all. And that, once again, I'm taking that phrase from somewhere else, but it actually means something else all entirely. What I'm about to say is incredibly unpopular, and people don't like it. But if you're in direct sales or network marketing, this job can get a little boring. This can be a little repetitive. You can get the same questions over and over and over. How many people get the same questions over and over and over for both product and your business? Is this a pyramid scheme? Is this blah? Tell me about the science. They want to know more about your product and what's on the wrapper or what's the ingredients than they do care about the Snickers bar that they buy every week or the beer or their Starbucks with the unicorn. Did you guys see this? This is ridiculous. The Starbucks thing, I saw. I'm way old on this stuff, so if this happened like a month ago, the Starbucks unicorn drink that they made, that was crazy. People were buying that thing like crazy because it looked pretty. It was like purple and pink and blues and whatever. And nobody thought to be like, hey, what do you put in that thing? And there's like sparkly stuff in it. It was ridiculous. But for some reason, they want to ask you a billion questions, or sometimes it's just the same 5 questions over and over again about the product that you have or the business, things like that. So this, being prepared with that, going in with the mindset that, you know what, being a business owner, there is repetition. There are things that I have to deal with over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. It's, one second here.
Is it messing up? I'm keeping up with comments.
Yeah. Sorry, I just kind of did something really fast. With that in mind, when you go into a situation or going into presentations or demonstrations or one-on-ones, knowing that, you know what, this is part of the process. This is part of what it is to be a business owner. Employees don't have to think about that stuff. Employees get paid for exchange of their time and they get money out of it or a salary, right? I get paid for results and actions. And you know what? Yep, there are repetitions. There are things that I get asked the same questions over and over and over again. That's just the way it is. A business owner understands that. Now, the reason why I like to bring this one up is because becoming self-aware with these things and when they start to creep up, you already knew that they were coming. I see a lot of people when I talk to them, there are things that I think, well, why don't they know that? Why that seems obvious. So I'm just going to say this, and I feel dumb telling them this very obviously stupid thing that I obviously know, whatever, you know. And then I say it to them, and they're like, oh yeah, that was helpful. And then I start thinking back on my life and the mentors that I've had, and I'm like, oh, they kind of tell me the same things, like the stuff like that were kind of like duh things, like, oh, of course I knew that. But then hearing it from somebody else and having self-awareness with this thing from another perspective really helps. So when you go into these situations, know that repetition is going to be a part of the job. Don't get wore down by the same 5 questions that you get every single week, because the results are so stinking worth it. I'm going to give you the second quote now. It's one of my favorite quotes being a business owner. And it's a tweetable, so you can tweet it. It's a business owner is the only person willing to work 80 hours a week just so they can avoid working 40 hours a week. Does that make sense?
No, we're not saying you have to work 80.
No, I'm not saying you have 80. I'm not saying you have to work 80 hours a week, but it's very true. Ashley and I are willing to put in more than 40 hours a week worth of work because we love what we're doing, just so I can avoid having to go clock in for 40 hours a week.
Right.
And it's kind of funny how twisted and weird that is, that I am so unwilling to work underneath someone else telling me what I can do, when I can go to the bathroom, when I can't, when I can go on vacation and when I can't, how much am I going to get paid, how much my bonus is worth, telling me what my worth is, what my time is, the only commodity in this world that everybody has equally. I'm having to give it to them and they get to tell me what that's worth. I can't handle that. That's not me. I don't, that just bothers me. I'd rather work double the amount of time and not have somebody do that. So, and a business owner totally understands that. Okay, I'm skipping like 3 of these that I go through in the training that the Belief Action Letting Go training that I have. But I talk about relationships to money, and then helping you understand the psychology of the prospect's relationship to money. That really helps you. Start thinking about the questions that you want to ask. If we don't have any questions, you guys don't want to ask any questions, we're just going to call it a day when I'm done with this last one. So definitely please ask your questions. The last one is just show up. Just showing up is 80% of it. Anybody knows who's that quote? Who's the quote from? Showing up is 80% of success. Does anybody know who said that?
Because we forgot.
No, I know.
Oh, you do?
I know what it is. I'm going to go for a while, and I'm going to see if somebody can remember that. And probably somebody's going to Google it. Showing up is 80% of success. And I honest to God believe that's the truth. I see so many times people, they show up and they do all the right things for a short period of time, and then they're unwilling to make growth changes. And then something doesn't happen the way that they want it to, and they end up having frustrations and struggles or whatever. Or they hit a wall that they plateau, and then they stop showing up, and then they go, I tried everything, that was that. And that's not how things work. Just showing up, I swear, is 90% of it when it comes to that's a good question. How do you jumpstart yourself to get out of it? We're going to answer that one here in a bit. That just showing up to your weekly meetings and just showing up to stuff like this and getting good stuff put in your brain, just showing up to making that one phone call. We talked about this a few weeks ago. Making your goal in a day for the daily method of operation should just be like, if I could just get one phone call, one follow-up, if I could bare minimum just get one new prospect to my list, getting that's another good way to get yourself out of a rut, by the way. Just having those little jump start things is really, 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 really important, because all that you're doing is just showing up. And when you start that little process and you like, for example, when we first got going, our sponsor said what the number one thing that helped him out in his business was every single week he showed up to the product demonstration without fail. He missed like 1 week because of like a snowstorm, or they canceled it, right? So what did he do? He just showed up. That's all he did, was just showed up, and he's lived off those results of that 1 year of just showing up for like 7 years now, right? And so go ahead and add. I'm going to get some water. You want to add anything else to that?
So the only thing I invite you, our mission with all of this stuff we're doing, by the way, because a lot of you guys are from our company, but there's also a lot of people not from our company, which is exciting, because we want this industry to become what we called this group, the soul-filled strategist, heart-filled hustle, because this industry could be the number one industry that saves America's economy if we do it right, if we treat it like a true business owner. That doesn't mean you have, sometimes people have, like, I know, if you ask Brian, this is true, I was a big-time hippie health nut when we first started our business 7 years ago, and I was not a business. In fact, I was like, I ain't no business girl.
Woody Allen was the right answer.
Good job, Carmen. I literally was like, I'm not a businesswoman, and I fought this for
and she
probably for the last year.
And she still fights it every once in a while. Like, this isn't who I am. I'm a hippie. That's when the hormones are out of whack.
Is that really? But the truth is, you can be a business owner but still be 100% authentically yourself. Okay, that is one thing that I think is important.
That's something that we should add. Be authentic.
Write that down.
No,
that was genius. I'm just kidding. So the deal is, what I invite you to, this mission we're on of saving the network marketing industries, to the fact where when you're talking about it to someone, they're excited that you have a really cool opportunity that's a lot better than them having to go to college for 8 years, or 4 years, or having to work a job. Like, they're actually really excited about it. And of course, the way you promote it now, people can still get very, very, very excited. But the fact, if you just let someone know, man, this is home-based, and they're going to be like, really? That's our mission with this. So to wrap that up, the two things I would suggest are, if this training was a little bit deep for you, the two things I would say to try starting this week is appreciate your time. Don't spend extra time with people that you don't need to, because first of all, it shows that you're very serious about what you're doing. Mm-hmm. You're still being yourself. You're still having fun. You're still, caring about them. But you're, even if you guys are having a wonderful conversation, it's going amazing, it still might be smart to go, you know what? I gotta go in about 5 minutes, but I can't wait till we talk again. Because the more meetings you can book in a row, and then talk again, and that way you can third party someone else in the next time or anything like that,
Yeah.
The more times you can talk with them in a row, it's beautiful because they get excited for your next conversation.
Right.
So that's part of that owning your time and that posturing kind of.
Leave them wanting more.
Leave them wanting more. That one, and then the whole idea of there is no option of quitting. Like, there just isn't.
Burn the bridges.
Burn them bridges, baby.
But burn the boats.
Or is that what it is? I don't know.
Burn the boats. No turning back.
But I'm telling you, what I do, again, because of Zoe, and even if you don't have kids, find some sort of cause that, like, fires you up that you're not going to quit because this cause is so much more important to you than your fears or your stress or whatever. You can think about that or even just think about the person you're calling, how you can make such a huge impact on their life, and they're gonna just think that you're like the savior, of their life. Like,
right.
So when you're thinking about that, that's going to increase the amount of action-oriented steps you put in your daily method of operation, because you're gonna be like, you're gonna get off the phone with somebody you just like gave a lot of your heart and soul to, and they're gonna be so grateful, even if they're not ready to join right now. Mm-hmm. They're gonna feel that you really cared about them, and you're gonna want to call another person. And your action steps in your daily method of operation are gonna go up and up and up. And you're like, you know what? I could call 5 people during my lunch break today, instead of 1. So there's my tips on that. Let's go ahead and look at some questions here.
I'm gonna actually do a segue. I am going to get to Julie's question: how do you jumpstart yourself to get out of a rut? I have a feeling absolutely every single person gets into a rut at some point in time, unless you're somehow a superstar. Then you should be up here teaching all of us. Because the one that I really like is the comment that Carmen put in here. I'm new in network marketing, and the best it brought so far is self-development. I'm having to face things and are bringing so much expansion in my life, and it's amazing. So with that being said, I want to transition. I'm going to sandwich some a little bit about Ashley and I in here, because what we've learned is, as much as we love network marketing, the number one thing that we love about it, and the number one passion from us that we derive out of network marketing, is what we're doing right here. We love teaching, and we love. Here's the deal. I spend all day digesting, processing all of this stuff and learning in the books. And I think of it in a way that's not just how can it help me grow my business. I think of it in a way of how can I put something out there for the people in this group and the people on our business page to, how can I help them grow their business? Whether I make a financial gain off of it or not, because in all reality, I love processing it, to rehash it, to give it back out for people in network marketing and home-based businesses. It's my number one passion, which is the one reason why we started doing this to begin with. If anybody's wondering, why do they do this? I've been getting that question a lot. Like, how come you guys are doing this for free? Like, what's going on here? Why are you guys giving out all this stuff for free? It's because, number one, this is like our absolute favorite thing above the product or service that our company would give out, the business, what the product can do for people. What I love more than anything is what you just put in there, Carmen. The number one thing it's brought to you so far is self-development. Mm-hmm. Because in all reality, if at the end of the day someone joins you and joins your company, and let's say they never sell a single thing, they never get on any business builders, they never make any sales, they never are able to do any of that stuff. If you, at the end of the day, because of bringing them in, have improved their life, who they are as a human being, that's how we're going to change this industry. That's how people are going to go, is this a pyramid scheme? Instead of, is this a pyramid scheme? Right? They're going to say the same thing, but they're going to be excited about it.
Is this a multi-level? Yay!
Yeah, it's multi-level marketing. Yeah, I'm so excited. Which one is yours? What can you offer me as far as my personal, think of it like that.
What books do you read?
Yeah, what books do you read? What do you recommend? What can I learn from you? If you can improve somebody's life, who they are as a human being, then it will not matter what your product or service is. They are going to be loyal to you and attracted to you. And that's why Ashley and I are doing what we're doing with all this stuff, is because that's what excites us the most.
The leadership culture, the personal development culture that may be lacking in your company. I know that it's not huge in our company. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of leaders who do it,
right?
But it's not like taught at all of the company conventions and everything like that. Like they say, some of the original ones, like they almost call themselves a leadership company rather than...
Right. Some of the original, yeah.
And part of it is because their products aren't that great. so they kind of had to be more leadership focused. But the people that are in those leadership, personal development focused companies are the companies that these people are like committed for life.
Right.
You know, I mean, you hardly see people leave those companies. So that's what we're trying to create within this group, is so that we can help anybody in any company learn leadership, learn personal development, learn mentorship, so that you can fast track to that leadership mindset. Because you know, I was telling in a group, you know, the other day about how that gal, there's a gal that owns a spa, and like she bought all of our products and wanted to share it, and I didn't even ask her to do the business and nothing like that.
Right.
But she was attracted to kind of my leadership, servant wanting, you know, mindset over this, like, instead of pushing our product or business on people.
Okay, so Julia Harmon Gailey, if you're still on, I want to ask you a particular question about the rut that maybe you're in, or you see somebody else and anything like that. And I'll give some expansive information on that. But if you're still on, I want to ask you, is the rut that you're in, does it seem like, typically ruts, but I always like to ask this, ruts are consecutive days. You have unproductive consecutive days. I'm in a rut, and it's been a week since I've been able to do anything. Is that something, if that is, put in the comments, but if you're not on, I'm going to still answer it for everybody else. Because, and it's very counterintuitive to what our culture in the United States tells people what they should do when you're in a rut. Just power through and get done and get over it, right? That's not actually what I would encourage people to do. The one thing that I do, and the one thing that I work through the Robbins-Madonnas Institute, they actually talk about this quite a bit when people are they feel stuck, or they have resistance, or anything else like that. What I've noticed is, if you actually allow yourself a day to say, you know what, I'm not going to do my business today. I'm going to go for a hike. I'm going to shut my phone up. I'm going to completely detach myself. No matter if you can't shut your phone off or something like that, if somebody calls you and they're like, I'm ready to go and I have 1,000 people ready to sign up, you say no. As weird as that sounds, you don't text them no, but what I'm saying is, you don't reply, you don't answer, you deny yourself, and you'd be amazed.
We'll talk tomorrow.
Right? Yeah, or you talk tomorrow, whatever. I wouldn't even respond. I would give yourself a day to completely stop trying to build something, trying to do something, because our culture here in the United States is always, it's very competitive. It's very look over and see how my neighbor's doing and make sure I'm doing better than them. It's very comparative, and it's very, how can I become more, make more, and that can wear on the psychology of people really badly. And that's why I think a lot of people have burnout, which is something that Ashley and I are putting together a training on, and how to become successful in your company without the burnout and the fatigue. And this is one of the things that I would talk to people about, is embrace a day off. Embrace a day where all you do is just sit around and read and refill your brain. You go on a hike, and you play video games, you do a hobby, you go golfing, you whatever. You do something and you give yourself permission to 100% deny yourself doing the business. So you actually just comment, had to get the ball rolling. Often allow other commitments and stuff. Hard to get the ball rolling. Often allow other commitments and stuff to sabotage my time and energy. So you allow them. Oh, that's not good. The more time that passes, the more fear sets in. Okay, so that goes back to what I was just saying. I would do this for everything, by the way, is other commitments and things like, I noticed you put quotations and commitments. If it's something that here's the deal. If someone's going to die, that's a commitment, that's a need. If in anything short of that, cut yourself off from it for a day. You need to give yourself a day. You'd be amazed at what happens to, okay, so let's think let's look at it this way. So here is what you're wanting to get done, and here's the resistance. This is the rut that you're in. Like, I'm just painting a little picture in your brain, right? So think of it like this. Here's the resistance that you are psychologically putting up. You allow, the words you use, allow other commitments and stuff, sabotage, this is resistance right here. All right, and you have the things you want to get done, and they're pushing against each other all the time, right? They're just constantly pushing against each other. This is psychologically very straining. What happens when you remove the resistance and you allow? All of that stuff should just be no. It falls down and it goes away. It's going to be so much easier to get the ball rolling. Your muscles are fatigued. You're literally been trying to get the same ball moving and this 500-pound ball moving. Your muscles are tired. You need to give them a break, allow yourself. And so for some personality types, this is the single hardest thing ever to do, is allow yourself to not do anything. And I truly mean absolutely nothing with it. Some of the other things you can do, if that's unacceptable to you, is take a day and just read a book that maybe you've read before, one that you know that is absolutely going to inspire you, reinvigorate you, and refill you back up. Doing stuff like that is really, really great. The other way you can do it, if I have stages, one where the best one is to take a day and not do anything. The next one is if you can't do that, you get antsy, you get more agitated doing that. Take a day and read and refill the brain. The last step that I would recommend that you do, if you absolutely none of those other ones work, is another one is take your goals, take the things that you think you should be doing and make them microscopic, make them small, make them mini. So let's say I feel like I got to do this and I got to do that. I got to call these 10 people that I got to do follow-ups with. Let's take a look at what kind of
should I tell her my rep thing?
Yeah, let me finish and I want you to jump in. Yeah.
Okay.
You take them, these big things that you think you need to do, and a lot of them, they can be broken down into smaller steps, or there's 10, like I need to follow up with these 5 people. I need to call these 10 people. I want to do these 10 things. Tell yourself, I'm just going to do one. All I'm going to do is just one right now. All right? I'm not going to do all 10. I'm going to follow up with one person. I'm going to call that one I'm just going to call one prospect. It's going to be an easy one, whatever, and call until you actually get someone to actually accomplish it. Don't just call them. You're in. Yeah. And you get out of the rut that you're in is just a tiny little thing. Because, you think you're like a wheelbarrow is in a rut. It goes over the same spot every day. If it gets off track and all of a sudden it's out, you're good to go. So doing just that one little thing can really, really help. So once again, take a whole day off or a whole weekend off if you can, and tell yourself I'm not allowed to do anything, or take a day and just read and refill your brain with good, positive things. If you can't even do that, and because you get too stressed, do just one of the big things. Just tell yourself, that's all I'm going to do today is just one big thing, and what you'll notice is by the end of the day, you've done 10 of them. And you've already done what you've set out to do because you got yourself out of the rut with one thing. A lot of times people think, I got to do these big, grandiose things to get myself out of these ruts, because the problem you think is big. This problem of mine is so big, I'm sabotaging myself. I allow these things to just destroy and take my time and my energy. When really it's this small little tiny thing that is very easily correctable, but in your brain you make it a lot bigger. So go ahead and add on.
Well, it's kind of, by the way, we think this is kind of cute and sexy. Brian is the soul-filled strategy, and I'm the heart-fueled hustle. Because...
Thank you, Crystal, by the way. I'm glad. Crystal and I talked yesterday, and she's amazing, amazing person. She has so much potential. She doesn't even realize it yet.
She's going to be a millionaire.
She's going to be a multi-millionaire. Her and I discussed this. We actually know how, and we're going to help her.
Changing lives not only through her passion, but through her company. Right. So, truly, like, if you think about it, Brian just gave you, like, super strategies, and they're like, mind-bogglingly good, baby.
Right.
And I'm the heart-fueled hustle because... I want to tell a story that might relate, because us women, sometimes if we have emotional connection to an answer rather than a strategy, somehow it like pulls us.
By the way, before you get started, Sonia, I want you to expand on that comment. Using information from watching replays, I applied to presentations yesterday. I have a dozen things. Can you expand on that a little bit more? I want to know how much. I want to know specifically what helped you. If you can.
If you want to put in the comments, if not, personal.
Message us, because I always look for what we say that really helps people, and then I want to get rid of everything else that doesn't. So please
Sonia,
share that.
Message us or comment.
Right. Go ahead.
If it's company specific, just message us personally. Okay, story. We've had probably 3 big ruts in our 7 years of being in our home-based business. Right. But the biggest one was right before we moved to South Dakota, right before we had Zoe, about, 4 years ago?
Right, almost 4 years ago.
And we moved there, and it was a smaller town. There was like 75,000 people, maybe a little more. And I was so scared to talk about our product or business because it was a small town, and I didn't want people to associate me as that right away. We're moving to this new town. I'm the new girl. I don't want to be the crazy that girl, right? And I was just burnt out. Like, that was the biggest issue. Is we were just like the way, first of all, the way we were doing the business was completely unduplicatable. And we never talked about the business, so not a whole lot of people were joining as distributors. We just had a lot of customers. And that was our own fear about talking about the business. So anyway, so here's this rut we're in. And this is the funny part. I actually just started going and making friends with people that were in other network marketing companies, or not even on purpose, but like I just like happened to make friends with them, and they would lead me to somebody else, and I would say, I'm thinking about really starting up some presentations and really starting up again, but I'm just not sure. Like, and I kind of just like wanted to see what other people would say to me, and here's the funny part. It was almost like when I showed them I didn't want to do it, they were like, no, you got to do it. You can do it. And it's so funny because if I was like pushing my company or something on them, they'd be like, whoa, whoa, whoa. But I'm like, I don't know, should I do it? And they're like, and then they're encouraging me, right? And I just thought that was so interesting because when you finally let go of control and this fact that you think you have to do the business in a certain way, you think that you have to push or like you have to bring it up in every conversation you have and all this stuff. That's where the stress comes in. When you said, Julie, about the more time that passes, the more fear sets in. I get that because the longer I wait to follow up with people, for some reason, the more scared I am to call them back, which is so silly. But that is the bottom line on that right there, is that I actually had this energy about me that I didn't necessarily even want to do it. Like, I believed in our product and our company and what it could do for people, but I'm like, I don't really want to do it. And it took that desperation feeling away, or that pushiness, or anything that we're afraid to seem. We never want to seem desperate for a sale. We never want to seem pushy. All these things we don't want to seem. I didn't even mean to, but because I was kind of like, I don't know if I should do it. I don't know if I want to do it. Like, it took away that desperation. Now, I'm not saying, like, pretend like you don't want to do it to people, but if you kind of have that in your mind of, like, going throughout your day, whether you're meeting a prospect in person or on the phone, if you're kind of like, I don't really want to talk about my business. I just want to get to know this person. I just want to see if this could help this person in some way. And then it's almost like as soon as they tell you something, whether it's health related or business related, or like they need to make more money or whatever, it's almost like you're like forced to say it because is this making sense?
Is it making sense to everybody?
Making sense? It's like, okay, for example, let's role play.
Oh, okay, this is people's favorite part. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so I just met you at the let's say at the Starbucks. We were standing in line next to each other. Okay. And we already met.
We already met. Okay, sorry.
And I'm like, yeah. So how long have you lived in Rapid?
Probably about the last 5 years.
Okay, and what do you do for a living?
I am an insurance salesman.
Yeah, how's that? That sounds fun.
It's okay. I kind of stumbled into it after college. Wasn't exactly what I was looking for, but it's a job. And do you have kiddos? We have 2, yes. Aw, so do you get to play with them like after work and on the weekends, or? Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, a little bit. When I get home and they're pretty much winding down for the night, but weekends are good. Oh, that's good. At least you get the weekends together. Yeah. I don't really normally like ask for people's business cards, but I don't suppose you have a business card. Yeah, absolutely, I do. Yeah, you guys, are you in the market for some new insurance? Yeah, let me look at what kind you got. I'll talk to my husband and see you. Right. Because the number guys. Guys are like that. But I gotta go. I was promised I'd bring this coffee to my friend, but that's nice of you. You don't have to lie if you didn't actually have a coffee for your friend, but just be like, I'm in a hurry. I gotta. Who are you talking to? Let me finish this. Is really okay. Good. All right. Good. I'm in a hurry.
I got to run.
Yeah.
I want to ask your business opinion since you sound like somebody who really knows business in this area. Do you care if I give you a call in the next day or so?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, do you guys see that? Like, I was like, I gotta go. I don't really want to chat. I don't really want to bring this up right now. So it's almost like that, the energy of like not wanting to do it, but you still did it because you think that they are valuable. They feel like you really truly think they are valuable. You're not trying to force something out. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Does this make sense?
that, and if you think about it, the amount of time it took her to do that was a lot shorter. She can contact a lot more people like that because she's not trying. Her end objective is to just get the contact information, which is something I teach a lot of people. Is every interaction you have with a prospect or a potential prospect have one desired outcome, and the very first desired outcome you should ever want to have with somebody is just to get their contact information. That's it. So don't think I'm going to sell my product or service in this one interaction. I'm going to X, Y, and Z. So if you go into every interaction with a prospect of what is my end goal, my number one end goal with this person, it helps laser focus yourself. What is my desired outcome? What's my desired result that I want from this? Why do I want it, and how am I going to do it? Instead of just going in willy-nilly of being like, here's my show up, and then open up your briefcase and be like, here's all of this stuff that I'm selling. Here's my blah, blah, blah. And they're like, I'm just here to meet you. I didn't understand. You know what I mean? So if you go into, like, you see somebody you want to prospect, your end objective should just be to connect with them on a level that they are willing to to give you their contact information. And Ashley has a really great way of doing that. Maybe we'll get into it.
Well, really quick, because we're running really low on time here. And I do want to ask Bruce what he meant there. Was this valuable? Was this helpful? Was there a few nuggets, an aha moment? If you had an aha moment, give me a 2 for aha.
Right. And if you guys are we have the baby coming really, really soon. Like any one of these weeks, we might not be able to do the Talk It Up Tuesday. So maybe, I'll try to come up with something. Maybe I'll have a guest speaker come on or do something, right? If we're unable to. But we want to do like a big, Tuesday night or Monday night training on a Zoom with you guys very, very soon. So
we will be offering some stuff where you can join an inner circle with us. We haven't talked about it too much. We're not going to go crazy. We're not even going to tell you much at all. But just so you know, there will be something where you can get a whole lot more personal time. That we're in the works of figuring that out. So just so you know, and if you have interest in that and you are very serious about the mission in your business, like maybe message us a little bit. But if this was helpful for you, put your 2 and also
look at all those 2s.
Look at all those 2s. I was asking how you were. Oh,
that is
a very loaded question, Bruce. Many, many ways. Mostly I meet people out and about, but I will be doing some business phone calls and stuff soon after the baby.
Right. But the baby will be here in the next couple of weeks, by the way.
Baby will be here in probably less than 2 weeks. I feel it coming early. If this was helpful, get your team or anybody else you know in network marketing or direct sales.
Because here's the deal. I guarantee you know somebody that's outside your company.
And don't feel like, it's competition. Like, I don't want them knowing this knowledge because they're in another company and I don't want them to know more than me or whatever. Trust that when you have an abundance mindset and you share this information, even if they're not in your company, but they're in another network marketing company, I promise you it will come back to you 100-fold. So share this with anybody you know that's in that, because I really think we're starting something big here. Not saying that Brian and I are amazing. We're saying this community.
Okay. Oh, that's a very good point. I want everybody posting their successes in this group. Like I got out of my rut. I got 5 prospects.
Give us your daily action steps that you take, and if someone does that, by the way, now this is free this part is I can handle once a week free coaching, but we weren't going to just give everyone free answers all the time in the group. But if you're consistently posting the action steps you take and you're doing what we teach, the more free answers we want to give you, because we want to see results with you guys.
Right. This is a community where everybody should be sharing their successes and then asking us for help with where they might feel like they might be lacking. And we can do put trainings out there. And I guarantee you what you're struggling with, a lot of other people in this group are struggling with. So you're not only hurting yourself, but you're hurting other people by not getting those questions answered, by not.
So the most interactive people that start posting all their stuff and their action steps, we're looking for a few people for a little test drive thing we're going to do. So just trust that the more actions...
She gives out so much, we shouldn't... Yeah.
I'm not telling anything. Just take more actions, post in the group. Don't lie. Actually put posts in the group that you're actually doing. And if you're having a stressed out, low day, say, hey, I'm feeling low. What should I go read? Or do something, okay? Let's keep each other accountable. We love you guys.
Yeah, we're at 55 minutes. I'm going to call that good enough. I want to see 1,000 people in this group by the end of the day.
If you know 10 people, either in your team or in network marketing, suggest that they like this group. You could just say, hey, I'm going to add you to this. Take yourself out if you don't want to be in it.
It's
not like we're selling products or anything.
Yeah,
like,
and that's the one thing is we are not allowing people to post about their product or service. If anything is
we're not going to sell you any makeup or any water or any supplements.
Lotion Potion Cream Extraordinaire Incorporated.
We will not be selling you. We just want your business to succeed, and we want a community of people that are riled up for a mission to really make this a fulfilled business. So,
alrighty.
Peace out. Love you guys.
See ya.
Talk to you soon.